Monday, December the 7th, 2020. Hello, everyone. Glad to know you're watching this other edition of the press review on JDC Plus TV. As we all know, traditional rulers and political parties yesterday voted for regional councillors in the country's maiden regional election, and the press this day echoes the ambience of the vote. We begin with the Post, which tells us that tight security, vote buying and death marks the December 6 elections, with bloody confrontations reported in Mezam and Momo divisions in the northwest, allegations of councillors caging Rock Ngoketunja. The paper equally tells us that the Nsofon Sembinglo resurfaces at Kumbo polling station to vote. Get details on all these highlights and more in today's edition of the Post. The Star newspaper headlines on a similar story. It says December 6 Southwest Regional Election, councillors, chiefs vote under maximum security. Stakeholders line Elekam for impeccable organization. Heavy security deployment boost turnout of Electoral College, among other stories reported by the paper in page 2 of today's edition. The Guardian Post on its part says SDF councillors defy party's decision and vote massively. According to the story by Mwa Patrick, the SDF councillors in Bamenda and Douala surprisingly took to the polls Sunday, December 6, to vote in Cameroon's first ever regional election, despite a decision by the frontline opposition party to boycott the exercise. The story further reads that in Bamenda, the paper gathered that all 31 councillors of the Bamenda 3 SDF-run council took part in the voting. They are said to have massively participated in the election, which saw each of them returning home with franc 50,000 received by voters. And the story continues on page 3. Still with the Guardian Post, we learned that a bedridden traditional ruler ferried to vote drops dead at a polling station after carrying out the civic duty. This sounds interesting to you? Read more on it by grabbing a copy of today's edition of the Guardian Post. The paper equally mentions the presence of Nsofon at a polling station in Kumbo, that was at the Government Balingo High School Kumbo, where he voted after making a low-key entry into his land to join other stakeholders in the exercise of his constitutional right. The same story makes headline news on the media newspaper. Come and kill me if you care. Those, according to the paper, were the words of Fon Sembinglo to Ambazonia fighters as he voted in Kumbo in spite of the ultimatum given him by them. And it is on that note that we put an end to today's edition of the press review on JDC Plus TV. Thank you so much for watching. On to our next edition.